I'm live. Which doesn't really mean much if y'all are not on yet. But I just had something occur to me that I really feel like I want to talk more about, because I've been running into so much of this. And people have a lot of mistaken ideas about it. They think this is a subject just for, why would you be important enough to be actually gang stalked? It seems like would a normal person even have that problem? Hey, hi, how you doing? If somebody could let the folks in me, we know I've been having a lot of technical issues. Even just getting on just this time, I've been having a lot of technical stuff. If one of our wonderful mods would just let people on me, we know that we're doing this. Hey, Jim. There's my Jim. There's my Pam I am. And Richard. Yeah, and Barry. Hi. There is a lag. There's a lot of lag. I have not been able to withstand the EMFs for a while. I'll tell you right now. I've been going through this process, and it was kind of grueling. Let me tell you, it was some sort of purification process. A lot of us are going through this, where we don't eat, things don't taste right. We can't eat right. We can't, everything is just not working. We're being changed. I mean, we are being upgraded physically as well as in other ways. So don't be surprised if you go through this. Many of us have gone through this now. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're sick. However, we are fighting a lot of this stuff. I know that our systems are also trying to beat off some of these protein spikes and stuff. And it's funny how I moved here just before all of this hit, which was great in the beginning, but now it's like the air is circulated through everything here. You're breathing everybody's air, so it's kind of the moment of truth. Are you going to be able to withstand this or not? Everybody's going to get it at some point, come in contact at some point. So you've just got to let yourself be upgraded enough to be able to withstand all this crazy crap that's being thrown at us right now. But hey, Drake. And that can be kind of painful. So just letting you know, if you find it very painful, you're not going to be alone in that. Or if you find it kind of debilitating, it might be. It might be. So, it's just a warning. If you haven't had it hit you yet, you probably will. And it's part of our upgrades. So you're not necessarily succumbing to an illness always. Sometimes you're just upgrading. Anyway, wanted you to know that. I think I'm just about done with it now, though. But I couldn't be around any kind of, I was really suffering with any kind of EMF. I could feel when somebody turned it on, it was like, so I couldn't be here at the PC. The PC was just driving me nuts. I got a longer cord so that I don't have to have it right next to me. You know, so I had to make some modifications in the layout too. And then we had the power go out a few times. Every time I want to take it outside, it's raining. We've been raining here a lot, and I know we need it, so I'm not about to ask for it to stop. So basically, there's been a lot going on over here. And as you know, I have a new family member, Mr. Cowboy, who is, whoa, screen just disappeared for a minute. So Cowboy's working out okay. He doesn't always think inside the box, though. We're working on that with him. And for cats, listen, kitty cats, you need to think inside the box. You make trouble for your owners if you don't think inside the box. Being creative is great and all, but thinking inside the box is good. When you have a cat box, you need to use it. I think he's just gets a little confused sometimes, is all. They do. Hey, Lewis. How you doing? Oh, you got a turtle. Isn't that great? You've been going through it too? Yeah, if people have to take long breaks, it's been happening. You know, don't be surprised. We're kind of lucky if we're in a situation where we can do that. And, you know, usually you will be put in a situation where you can do that. You know, your guides will be taking care of you. Remember, your guides are you. There's some version of you. They're just another version of you. All of your guides, your highest and best guides, are a version of you. They always were. You will have your version of, say you call on Saint whatever, you'll have your version of Saint whatever. Okay, that's part of our divinity. We are divine. We're the ones that program this damn thing, design this damn thing, you know, this matrix. You shouldn't call it a damn thing. It was damn for a while. It's getting better now, right? It's beginning to get cleared gradually. But gang stalking came up. I was talking to my sweet sister, Jim, and Jim and I, and it's just been coming up a lot. The whole subject of gang stalking has been coming up a lot because I run into so many people who are, I can recognize this is what's going on with them. They can't say it. They can't tell people, but they tell you. You know, it's like one of those things, tell me you're being gang stalked without telling me you're being gang stalked. There's ways to tell. Usually, they're the kind of people that only let you so far into their lives. They back away from success, possible success. They're talented. You're wondering why they aren't in a high-paying position. It's because they're being gang stalked a lot of times. You know, there's just habits and characteristics. They'll kind of stay back from things. Like I know one lady, I obviously couldn't tell anybody, but she was a really great musician. And I said, well, why don't you, like many people have said to me in the past, why don't you XYZ, put yourself out there more, be, you know, well, for a while I was, but then you have things happen and you're like, I kind of like to survive, and the people around me too, because see, it's not just you when you're gang stalked, it's the people around you. And you don't have to even be that important of a person. You don't have to be rich, famous, important, powerful person at all. There are gangs that stalk people to satisfy their dark whatevers, you know, rules of the gang, or rules, you know, some demon somewhere wants that, or, you know, they're, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of groups that do this kind of thing. Some of them politically based. And if you just run into the wrong person, or the wrong person gets mad at you, or the wrong person looks at you and says, "Oh, that's a good target," you know, it can happen. You don't have to be important. You don't have to sit there and figure out how important you are. Although a lot of us are important. A lot of us who have this problem, and me, I'm kind of on the other side of it now. I'm told that the person who I ran afoul of, I won. They're dead. They died. Now I'm laughing over that, and you may think that might be cruel or unspiritual or something, but this was a war. This was a war. This was absolutely. So their contract ended back in a little while ago, actually. And so with nobody to keep it going, that one's down. That one's gone now. There may be other things out there, but the problem is that we found is when it's a gang like that, it's a whole lot of people trying to get through it all, through all of the bullshit that they set up. They usually have protocols that are meant to confuse you, are meant to confuse the issue of who's doing it. In fact, they'll usually set somebody else up to look like the person who's doing something to you. Hey, Sovereign, how you doing? So, yeah, there are people, I mean, there are groups where this is what you do to stay in the group, and they make somebody do something awful to ensure loyalty in the group, to be able to blackmail people. If you manage to kill somebody, if you manage to harm somebody, if you manage to do all of this stuff, you can stay in the group, but then they have something to blackmail you with. We hear this in the child slavery rings all the time, and the trafficking. They'll get politicians or whatever, or whoever they need in their corner to do something stupid, and so that they can bribe them, or not bribe them, but blackmail them. It happens all the time. Hey, Sovereign Cosmic Wild Man. That's great, but don't flood, please. Yeah. Oh, well, we've got a whole thing about that. We'll talk about that in some other broadcast, okay, Cosmic? But oh, you're out? Just came in to drop a load and leave, huh? Just drop. Okay. That's what you want to do. Thanks for coming. Okay, so yeah, see, there's been a lot of anybody else in here now? What's going on? It's just like, yeah, flood and leave. Okay, that's what you want to do a little bit. It's okay. Somebody type something. Uh-oh, what happened? I don't see anything. Hey, Titan. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. It just skipped. So, I don't know. There are people who just come in to kind of drop their and leave. They don't want to learn anything. They just want to promote whatever they're promoting. Well, okay. But he left, and then he did his thing and left. So he's not trying to troll, I guess. So it's okay. That's your opinion, and you know, there's things about that we could discuss, but we won't write in this. That's not the scope of this stream right now. However, the truth is, there are. Barry, will you keep your farts to yourself? That is not the subject either. And then we see Barry blowing up over there like a balloon. Okay, never mind. Strange. Yeah, what can I say? 7-Eleven. Hey, Titan. Yeah, yeah, Sovereign's spamming. I farted and I can't get Barry, you and your farts. You know what? That stinks. It stinks. It does. No, that happened, but thank God. Thank God that we can't smell over here. We don't have smell-o-vision. Thank you. Anyway. Hi, hi, Max Vision. Hi, John. How's the kitty? How's the furry overlord? My furry overlord is overeating, so he should be quiet for a while. And Titan's in, and John is in. So I'm glad that people are showing up, because sometimes I try to do these and nobody. I really think I've been shadow banned in some ways. And I'm laughing because who of my friends hasn't been shadow banned lately? You know, a little shadow banning here and there. What the heck? You know, you never know. But seriously, I run into so many people that this has happened to. And there was a woman she was a very talented musician. And when I asked her why she didn't, you know, put yourself out there and everything, and she was, oh no, I need to just play in a small church somewhere, because she loved music. It was obvious she loved music. It was really a part of her soul, and she needed to play music in order to feel whole. And she couldn't do it because, you know, in a big way, she felt she couldn't. She felt she couldn't really put herself out there. And, you know, I not very many people, where, you know, it's got to be a small church where not many people go. And no, I can't be known. I can't, you know, and basically that is an earmark of somebody who's been stalked like this, is you feel like you can't really put yourself out there because it will be ruined. And your relationship with whoever you're dealing with will also be ruined, because it will also affect your friends and your other contacts. As a matter of fact, there was a time when I couldn't let anybody know what my other contacts were. I had to keep everything separate, because every time I tried to congeal it all, something would go down, and it was terrible. I mean, I didn't want to bring problems to every single good person I knew. So a lot of times I would keep everybody at arm's length when this was happening to me. I would keep everybody back a certain ways, like not too focal or not too central in my life. Like, you know, there isn't anything I could do about my family, though. They're my family. What am I going to do? You know, so I couldn't do much about that. But for a long time, I just didn't feel like hurting anybody. I felt like I would be hurting anybody if I would let people know I was close to them. And I see that. And if I let myself be too out there and too known, I would have strange things happen, very strange things. And I mean, a lot of times, like I said, this isn't even, you don't have to be a real important person or a spy or in an alphabet agency or anything. It doesn't even have to be an alphabet agency. There are other organizations that do this kind of thing. In fact, some of you may not even know some of these exist, but some of the secret societies do this. Some of the so-called activist type groups, some of the more nefarious religious groups. Like one person I know got targeted by a guy who was satanic, and he was targeting her as a sacrifice. He spent years getting close to her so that he could position her in just a specific way to be able to kill her. She did end up having a stroke and almost dying, very close. But because he felt like he had to tell her, and maybe he did have to tell her, maybe that was part of it. Titan, don't worry about it. Before you came on, I've just been saying we've all done that. We're all getting that. Okay, we're all running through that kind of a time. I had to too. I wasn't broadcasting regularly for a while. I think I'm back now. I seem to be okay now. Good to go. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try tonight and see how it goes. But for a while, it just wasn't working. And I couldn't fight that. If I fought it, I would just get in more trouble. Yeah, and Pam, I was saying that before you came on. We're getting reset. We are. We're getting upgraded and reset, and there's going to be a lot of things like that. You know, yeah, tonight seemed to be the night to come on, finally. Finally, I felt good enough. Things were working. Actually, I tried a couple of nights ago, and I managed to blow the circuits on the place. So, you know, I kind of double checked tonight before I did, but still, it took me a good 5 minutes or more to try and get in here. So it was, you know, still kind of tricky to get in, but I made it in. So we'll see how I do tonight, and I may be on regularly again, but I understand if you're going through stuff. I was too. Everybody was. I mean, I've talked to a lot of you. A lot of you have been going through things. I'm a little worried about Mary. I haven't seen Mary Bond anywhere. So if somebody runs into Mary Bond, let her know that I'm going to be on from time to time, and I'd love to hear from her. Worry a little bit about her. Because I haven't seen her. And Titan, you know what? A lot of us battle being antisocial because there are a lot of crazy people out there. And that's part of what this subject is about. Some of them are not crazy for the reason you think. Some of them being the NPC type, and we all know, I don't think I have to explain to you about NPC. Okay, some of the crazy people are NPC. Okay, we know what that means, kind of, right, everybody? But some of them, if they are kind of standoffish, they've maybe had some trouble. And like I said, it doesn't really take being anybody massively rich, famous, or powerful, you know, in a temporal way to be stalked like this. I meet lots of people. The only thing I see in common with most of them have a gift of some sort. Conspiracy thriller novel. Well, it's a thought. Yep, keep up your protocols and wear your silver. I've been keeping up. I was kind of slacking off on my supplements for a while, but I'm making sure I have them now, and I'm doing better. You just have to, we've got some guns in our pot. We got some guns. We need to use them. Okay. I make these. Let me know. I'll give you a very nice price because you come to my show. They help. Another thing that helps is frequencies. Everything's frequency. Everything's about frequency and vibration. And if you can get that going for you, that's another big thing in here. Yeah. Yeah, the subject is heavy. And you know what? It's a funny thing, isn't it? Yeah, things are moving along. Things are changing. I keep getting that we just have to be patient and not freak out and think the world's coming to an end, even though it is. Again. Yeah. Oh, the blackwashing of your culture. Yeah, Barry. It's a lot of stuff like that. A lot of people's culture. They'll say you're primitive. They'll say you're cannibals. They'll say you're anything. Just to make you look like you're idiots. You're all idiots, and we should look down on you. I know, but everybody's gone through that. You realize black people, white people, almost every nationality that I can think of has had a time when somebody has been doing that to them for some reason. Mostly political power, mostly political clout to get people in an uproar so they go do something, right? To get, it's propaganda. So, yeah, propaganda is age old. So, yeah, we are connected. Well, you know who you are. You are divine. We built this place. We designed it. You know who you are. And I do believe that matrix psychosis is real. It's very hard to not accept this as real because we've been here so long. It's been a very long mission. The retired 300 generals address to Congress on everything that is going on right now. Wow. I need to hear more about that. I haven't heard about that. I have hope this week. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, Pam, the whole thing is, as a species, we've been under this. It's almost like we've been gang stalked as a species too. Really. And and blackwashed as a species. Because I'm sure they're saying, look at them, they're choosing to do the stupidest things. Look at the primitive little humans. It's like, it's bloody bastards. They're just doing whatever they can. We're not the first ones. I think we learned it. Okay. But yeah, that there's a hideous strength that wants to hold us down, right? But I think they're also waking up, a lot of people waking up to the fact that we are stronger. If once we know that. But if you don't know that, if you don't know what's holding you down, if you don't even know something is holding you down, like, I don't know I have this rope around my leg. holding me here. I didn't know, I didn't see it. I couldn't see it because I was told it was normal to have a rope around my leg. I thought everybody had a rope around their leg. Doesn't everybody have a, everybody here has a rope around their leg? Wait a minute, not everybody in the universe has that. You know, that's what it's like, right? And when I see, it's funny because you get to a certain point where even when I look in the mirror, I change. I'm looking at me on the screen right now. I don't look the same from time to time. My cat's really teaching me this. He's got exactly two spots on his back. They're kind of blobs, but depending on how he bends and twists and lies down, and he changed shape. And it's like an ongoing ink blot test. Maybe I should have named him Rorschach. But it's reminding me that really how things seem to be and how things look is a matter of perspective. It really is. You know, if anybody else put that on, if somebody I didn't know put that on the screen, Max, I would really wonder, but since it's you, I'll, figure it probably is worth a see. Yeah, things are getting that crazy. Yeah. It's very important that we don't lose heart now. That we don't lose heart now. Cat Dr. Manhattan. Yeah, he's a very interesting. He's also got, I was wondering because I kept hearing, sometimes it looks like he's got like the spots on his back are triangular shaped, like the triangular shaped craft. And he's also got on his face 3/4 of a butterfly, but the one wing is this wing is a little shrunken, which that was the butterfly that was shown on X-Files. A lot of people were putting that on t-shirts without really understanding what was going on, because it was a beautiful butterfly but had a shrunken wing, and it was something about genetic damage. It was anomalies. But that I keep hearing when I look at my cat's spots change. Do 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 do. The X-Files theme. I should do a little thing with his changing spots and have X-Files, if I could play the X-Files theme in the background without getting in trouble. But it's weird because sometimes I looked down one time and it looked like he had a heart and a diamond on his back, and I'm there like, okay, maybe I should have called him Gambler or Aces. But so I have an X-Files cat. It figures. He looks very unassuming little Manx, right? Black and white, that's all, just black and white spotted Manx. He's only spotted on one side, though. He's only spotted on the right side of his body. And the other side is white. So on one side, he's a spotted cow kitty, and on the other, he's mostly a white cat. And I'm like, you're just a little puzzle, but aren't you? You're very simple, but very, he's kind of complex. It's interesting. Yeah. He hasn't done Ace of Spades yet. I haven't seen Ace of Spades show up on his back. I've seen hearts and diamonds. There's a blob that'll turn into a diamond when he gets into a certain position from a certain angle, and one that turns into a heart. But then the one that turns into a heart turns into a triangle, a perfect triangle. Oh, it's weird. Just watching his fur change is weird. The spots on his fur. It's like, yeah, you're way more entertaining than I thought you were going to be. So yeah, it's such a simple pattern, but it just changes. It's so weird. And maybe it is like a Rorschach test. Maybe it has a lot to do with your state of mind at the time, what you see on him, on his spots. I don't know. Because when I got him, he's so plain in a way. I mean, he's beautiful kitty in his own way, but he's also very plain. You know, he's just a cow-spotted kitty. Even a little Manx with no tail. He doesn't even have a tail. He has a little black thing that wiggles, a little tiny black nub that wiggles. But he's a sweet boy. He really is a sweet boy. Morphin Cat Ranger. Count on Barry to think of these things, right? So you know, I met a person who was, well, yes, she was paranoid. She really was. But what she said wasn't all wrong. What she was talking about wasn't all wrong. What she was noticing a lot of things that were quite real. But it was as if something had just knocked her right into what most people would consider insanity, you know, crazy. And it wasn't that what she was observing was nothing I'd ever heard of, because I'd heard of it plenty from people with no diagnosis, you know. And then somebody just recently called me that is another one of those people that has the gang stalking phenomena going on. And she's looking at, wouldn't you know, she wants me to take 2 of her cats. And I'm like, I just got a cat. I ended up, you know, I can't take another, you know, I'm still getting used to this one. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to help you there, but can't do it. I got one already, and I'm still waiting for the right papers and everything, because they've got papers and everything for him. So to make sure to prove that he's got his shots and everything, so that I can have him. But go the Powerpuff Kittens, maybe. He's got a floofy belly. This little cat, as soon as I said, they gave me a name that he didn't respond to, but when he was staring at me in the doorway of my bedroom, I'm sitting on the bed, and he's staring at me and staring at me. And I said, well, cowboy, come up here and get your belly rubbed. He just came up and rolled over and put his belly up to be rubbed, and I'm like, oh, I see, you like to be called cowboy. And he put his head down here, little quick nod. Oh, well, now you can't fool me, though, that you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So, yeah, he is a sweet boy, and he comes up, and he doesn't like to be picked up, though. And he won't get up on things, so he won't be like like Max Kitty would come up and you know, he won't be doing that. But he will stand right by or sit right by my feet, or and I have to be careful too. But yeah, he will sit close by, or he wants to be loved. He wants. But here's another thing. It's a little off the subject, but I wanted to bring it up to a revelation I had about kitty cats as he was lying there. As I'm playing the Z-apt frequencies for various things, He comes out from under the bed. That's his cat cave of solitude, his fortress of solitude under there, his cat cave. He goes under the bed and he has his little home under there, but he comes out and to get, belly rubs and food and pets and play and all that. So, yeah, well, of course, Richard. I kind of expect that now. And I totally believe you. Of course your cats talk to you. They will, if you give them half a chance. Animals will talk to you if you give them half a chance, especially kitties, and especially Siamese cats. Let me tell you, they always have a lot to say. Matter of fact, as much as this one talks, I'm wondering if he's got a little Siamese somewhere in the background there. Hey, Kai, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I'm glad I have a kitty again. I feel better since he came. He's been through a lot. His mommy died. Like I said, she lived down the hall, and she died after her second. Yeah. Not very long after that, she contracted something that they just couldn't stop. She basically had kind of a dysentery that they couldn't stop. That's not uncommon. I'm even wondering if somehow she might have got it sounds a bit like C. diff. But very sad. Older woman, though, just typical. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot of good for older people. But then again, it's catch can, Yeah, Tail Farm High. Tail Farmy High. Just outside Verbier. Well, when I stop to think of how many people I have met who are being gang stalked and show signs of being gang stalked and come to me because somehow they feel they can tell me and I'll understand, and they're right. I do understand. When I think about that, I think something has to give here. Something has to change. There's just too much of this. And people don't feel they can talk about it. And people even feel in talking about it that they're attracting attention to them and they don't want to. They don't want to come on a show and be seen talking about it. There's so much fear. So somehow we have to get by all this. Somehow we have to be aware that this is happening. And if somebody seems to be having this situation, be understanding, their lives will not look logical at all. And no matter how talented they are, if it's one of those things that no matter how talented they are, they can't get ahead, they might be one of those people too. Because people used to ask me that all the time. They'd say, my God, you're talented. I mean, they'd see what I could do. I can do a lot of things. My God, you can sing. My God, you can play. My God, you can do all these different kinds of art. You can make all of this stuff. You can, you're not afraid of public speaking. You're not afraid of public performing. You're not afraid of, you can do this. You can do that. And it's like you can design costumes. You can, what? Why are you not rich? Why are you not out there? Why not? Well, for years, I couldn't be. Nothing would work. Every time I'd get so far, it would blow up. It would just go and just Not blow up in the good way. I mean, now when people say blow up, they mean it gets, no, it would go, you know, and whoever I was working with would change. My God, it was like in some cases, and this must have been because they were NPCs, it was like that scene in The Matrix when the Smiths would get hold of somebody and they'd turn right into a Smith. I'd watch people turn right into somebody else. I'd watch their character entirely change, and I'd be like, holy crap, what the hell? You know, that weird. I mean, it's that weird. You can't tell anybody that. You can't tell people that. So for years, I couldn't really talk about this. And trying to stay sane, you have to at least look sane. Okay, if it's too insane, you can't say it. Because people will be really fast to put that sticker right on you. That you're just crazy, don't pay attention. And so if it sounds crazy, you got to be careful who and how you talk about these things. Even to this day, I hope this is fixing to break down now. I hope this is the end of that cycle. We're getting to the end of that because, like I said, people in Kent here, there's just too many of them. I run into them all the time. And usually they get billed as schizophrenic. And by the time they go through all this, a lot of times they aren't thinking right. You know, they're so confused because it's meant to be confusing. The whole thing, it's not always meant to kill a person, although some are. Some of these do actually kill people. It's more meant to just torture. It's touch-free torture. And you might die from it, but you might not. You might go on for years. But a lot of times, if you survive, now I was told that I was just going to have to survive past it, which I have. So you can out-survive some of these things. I suppose after a while, if you don't complete your mission, then something says, okay, you're not going to complete your mission. This person has it doesn't look like they're going to die. I'm sorry, but you failed. Out of the group or whatever, right? Or maybe that person dies. Like I think in this case, the person died. That's what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling. The person died that was doing this. And he was old. I think he was a little older than me. So it might just be, who knows. But it might even have been more than one person. We don't know. I mean, you know, in some cases, it's more than one person involved. I mean, there are even, how would I put it, mafia type situations where this sort of thing happens. So, and there's definitely mafia in here in Kent. That definitely is, I've had people admit to that. So, you know. Mom, I left some art and a MeWe message for you. Farm says hi, Mom. Oh, tell Farmy hi. Yeah. Yes, consider conspiracy theorists too. Yeah, exactly, Titan. Yeah, you know, really, when they're calling you crazy, a lot of times you're onto something. You know, you have to be careful not to trip over into where they're trying to medicate you and put you away, right? But I know somebody who would rather die than get it shut up, and she just kind of ran when it looked like her mom was going to get control of her medically. She ran. She just ran. She didn't even have anywhere to run to. She just was running. She just went running. And there wasn't anything I could do to persuade her otherwise. So, well, thank you, Kai, and I'm glad to hear that you're doing your moving thing. And I'm going to try to be on a little more. This is kind of a test run to see if I'm really back. If so, probably Wednesdays will be one of my days. Thank you all for being amazing. I appreciate that all of you are still with me. And, you know, I appreciate that you still show up when I come on, some of you. There were a few shows there that I came on and nobody showed up, and I was just figuring I was shadow banned and nothing much to do about it. Hey, Max, if you're taking off, hugs, and I have the jewelry. If you approve, I've got a picture of it on MeWe. I gotta get, oh, that's right. I gotta get your, I never did send that email. Damn it. I had to do so much just to get in here tonight. But anyway, yeah, somehow I had to get I had to go through the email and all kinds of other junk to get StreamYard up again. But we got it going now, so we're okay. Well, what I wanted to say, the cat was teaching me a lot of things. Perspective is one. Another thing is he likes the rife frequencies. And as he was laying there listening to the rife frequencies with me, I was hearing something in my head about a little story, not really in words so much, but in, you know, how they telepath in feelings. But one thing I did hear, cats are frequency-based creatures. I didn't know that. I didn't think of it that way. Do we ever think of kitties that way? Kitties are frequency-based, but it makes sense. There are other animals that are too, that use frequencies. But apparently this is something typical of Lyrans. They're known to be healers. One of the ways that they heal is with frequencies. That purring is a frequency. And that's already been studied. It's a healing frequency. It's very healing to a human. And to the cat as well. Other cats as well. They are frequency generators. Cats. Never thought of it that way. But that's one of the things that they do. And frequencies mean things to them. That's one of the things that they're doing when they appear to be seeing or hearing something. It's a frequency that they're picking up on frequencies. I never thought of that. Wow. Kai, all the best of luck to you, by the way, and I'll have to take a look at that. I'm going to have to take a look at how it is out. I still hope that I can take my phone or something with me and take you to see the bog park. It's beautiful. Probably we got Sasquatch living just beyond it. It's perfect playground for Squatch. Okay, Sasquatch. Because they love barriers to humans. I mean, it's something that's a barrier to a human isn't necessarily for them. So my guess is that they're probably right down the way here. And chances are I'll be seeing or hearing from them before too long. I'm not even sure that I haven't already heard from them. Sometimes random things come through. You know how that is when you're sensitive, when you pick things up. Anyway, so if you have a kitty cat, they're paying attention to the resonance of things more than you'd think. Although they can't really explain that to a lot of people. I mean, if you don't understand the whole concept of resonance. Now, the resonance therapy was invented, reinvented, I think, remembered. Once again, it was in the 40s. A lot of things were coming up in the 40s again by Royal Rife. And it's interesting that once I heard of this actually being a thing, that frequencies could heal and frequencies could destroy. And of course, the military jumped right on it and raided his place and took his machines, except for one. And all of his stuff was lost to us, to the general public, for a long time. And I set a strong intention, this was many years ago now, a strong intention that that was going to come back to light somehow. Somebody had the info, and if he found it once, we can find it again. And sure enough, it started coming back up. You can now run things on YouTube that have those frequencies in them. You can get a thing called Z-App. Now, they're not necessarily fun to listen to. You will feel them, though. But Z-App is a thing, well, with the frequencies. If you can stand to play them, that's been helping me a lot. But they're not fun to listen to. They're not melodious. They're frequencies. And if you get the Z-App, you'll see what I mean. So at times, you're probably going to have to play them pretty low so that you don't drive everybody nuts, because some people are just, they can't handle them. And that's probably why they disguise them in music, is because it's very hard. Uh-oh, yawning. And I'm not even that tired. Not really tired at all. But frequency, we got to pay attention to that. I think it's going to be a big tool, a bigger tool. I actually, being a fan fiction writer for a while, for science fiction, I was featured in a few publications. I was in the middle of writing a story that I wanted to be a novel. And I described a med bed, what we now know as med beds, which is another one of those hidden technologies we're not being given because it works. Well, the Rife frequencies were another part of that. I mean, if everything's frequency, you can use light and sound to do anything. If everything is a wave, then if you change that wave, you change the object, you change the thing, you change the energy of it. Everything changes. Yeah, Lewis, it could be. I think they usually do. Hey, Cannabis. Hey, how you doing, Naysay? Oh, it's really, as strange as it is of a subject, as we were just saying, it's a heavy subject, but it feels oddly light tonight. I'm giggling about it because I'm on the other side of it right now. Yeah, no wonder they want to control our frequencies. Makes no, it's no big surprise at all, is it? Because that's really all there is. If you think about it, if this place is run, is a matrix, then all it really is ones and zeros and frequencies and energy, and everything you are perceiving is solid. We already know it's not. We already know it's alterable, it's changeable, it's mutable, everything, no matter how solid we think it is. And we only perceive it as solid because we're not really seeing the world. We're interpreting signals coming in. So once you think of it that way, then you realize anything could be changed. And my guides have said that to me a long time ago. Don't think that anything's irreparable. You have the ability to change everything. Everything, literally everything that's gone wrong can be made right. It's not what we saw. Once people just stopped screwing around for a while, the environment was just repairing itself, like really quickly. Earth is a system. Earth has a system for everything. No, she'll bounce back. All we are doing is making it hard for us to exist here. So, yeah, no wonder the military wants to control it. Of course, you play the opposite frequency of something and you can weaken and destroy it. That's a military thing. You can also strengthen something by playing the resonance of it. So you can strengthen your bones by playing that resonance. You could strengthen your whatever by playing that resonance. And you could also start weakening and canceling it out. I'm wondering if that isn't really some of the weapons that they use on people's teeth, because most people who are stalked, another problem you'll see with them is they'll have problems with their teeth. And people say that across the board. You'll have problems with your teeth. Well, your teeth are crystals. They're crystals. And people who talk of this as an electrical system say they're circuit breakers. And of course, you're going to have problems with your teeth if you're being messed with, if your frequency is being messed with somehow. So, well, front and back and left and right and up and down, and what you trying to see, Niecy? So, yeah, it's really puts the power back in our hands to realize a frequency difference is a difference. Even though you can't really see it in your hands exactly, it's a difference. And like I said, the magnetic jewelry really helped. The magnets, that's another way of altering things. Yeah, magnetism plays into this too. As a matter of fact, I was reading something to the effect of they have to shield computers from random EMF because it would mess with the programs. Well, if it could mess with the programs on the computer, this is a computer up here. Could mess with our computer too. So, it's a type of computer. So, yeah, it could be messed with. So, that's what we're dealing with. But there's ways of blocking that kind of thing. There are ways of mitigating it. And we're finding it out again. So anyway, I was at this spiritualist church and they said, there's a message for someone. Someone named Royal is here. Does anybody know a Royal? And everybody's like, Royal? And I said, I know of one Royal. One guy named Royal Rife. And she said, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's him. I said, yeah, it must be for me then. Yeah, it was a message for me. He appreciated that I had done some things to further his work. Like I had told certain people about it who could maybe bring his stuff back up to light. And he appreciated the effort. So I'm glad that I had a part in that. I'm proud of that. So you're not powerless. We're not powerless. We're being given tools all the time. We're going to win this. That's obvious. We're winning already. Don't give up. Don't think that because you're gang stalked you can't get out of it. You can outlive it. You can out clever it. I think a lot of it's about to stop soon. I think we're getting ready to stop a lot of it. I think we're getting ready to, oh yeah, direct energy weapons. Yeah, they can mess with your, of course they can mess with your frequency. Yeah, it's the whole idea of touch-free torture. But we got ways to deal with it. So just letting you know, if you run into somebody like this, you know, don't be surprised. Just have a little compassion. Maybe you can tell them about some of the things that we can do. You might just mention offhand, you know, frequency resonance. You ever hear about that? And, you know, you can put yourself out of sync with their plans, with their energies. And once you're out of sync with them, then the power is over. It's only when they can pull you down into a lower frequency, low enough to get you, which happens if they can make you sick, make you, like I came home, I've had, you know, where I would have bottles of water and I'd open a bottle that had already been opened and it would smell like bleach or something. Well, I never put bleach in there, you know. It would be weird things like that. You come home to your locked apartment and you're a girl and you're alone, but you come in and the toilet lid is up, the toilet seat is up, like a guy was there, and there's a cigarette butt on the floor. You don't smoke and you're not a guy. So what happened? You know, that kind of thing. It's to scare you. It's to terrify you. And if they manage to bring you down enough, then they can mess with you. And that's something to think of. If you can find ways to bring yourself back out of their resonance, out of their frequency, you're out of their grasp. That's what we're getting ready to do. Once we do this, ascension is an ongoing thing. It's not just a boom, zip, zam thing. It's ongoing. And once we get past a certain point, the lower stuff cannot mess with us anymore. Will not be able to touch us anymore. We'll be out of their grip forever. And it scares the crap out of them. They're seeing us run right through their fingers, evaporate like smoke in front of their eyes. Some of us are already gone out of their grip. And it's just like, no, what do we eat now? Well, I'm sorry. Maybe each other, I don't know, become cannibals. Because we're leaving. We're out of here. We're out of the lower densities. And those of us who came to the lower densities to try and help, we're heading out. It's happening all the time. It's ongoing. So don't be surprised. You might see people disappear. You might see people just, where did that person go to? No, never hear of it again. Now you don't hear about them. It might happen. We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, wanted y'all to know I'm maybe back now. We'll see. This went pretty well after I got going. So I might be streaming again, back to streaming. So just since the word doesn't get out, I may need a little bit of help with you wonderful mods letting people know that I'm on. And B, because usually I almost have to do it spontaneously. If I try to plan it too far in advance, something happens. It's like, oh, chits. But, you know, I'm doing my best here. I'll try and be back in more often. I miss you guys. I love you. I miss you. I'll be in when I can. And back to come up with all the weird and kooky and fun stuff that we do here. Music, I think, is going to be big. I think music is going to come back real large. So probably at some point we're going to have concert. Okay, so I didn't want this to be really long tonight because it's kind of a test run to see if I can handle it. And so I'm going to say, truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some on my channel. And you can find me on MeWe. Ocean's Woo Lounge is one. And that's where you start on MeWe.com. And MeWe is just a platform like Facebook, but without the data mining. I might have to return to Facebook a little bit, though. I got to tell you, some of us are still on Facebook. I have a feeling Facebook is going to be going through some kind of a morph. Something's going to happen with Facebook because it's so popular. I don't know that it's going to go down. I think it's going to go sideways. I don't know what that means. But something is going on. I think something's going to go on with Facebook that's going to make it accessible again, or useful again. So I love you all, and you're wonderful. Like I say, thank you so much for showing up, spending some time with me, and coming here to be with your family. We are your family. You are divine, and I'm going to try and remember to say that every single show and remind you that you are divine. And actually, as we said on BTV, it was funny. They were trying to come up with a word. I said aeons. They were called aeons. The aeons. The aeons designed all this. Guess what? That's us. We're them. So this is Ocean making waves. Now go make some waves of your own. Be kind to each other. Go out there and change the frequency of the world to be beautiful. We can do it. Just pull everything on up. Okay, till next time. And Cowboy says, good night, buckaroos. Okay, next time.